So, have you ever asked ChatGPT for something and what you get back is, well, it's just generic, bland, and frankly, completely useless? Yeah, you're not alone. But here's the good news. The problem probably isn't the AI, it's the prompt. And today, we're going to fix that. Okay, let's dive in and turn you into a prompt master.
I think we've all been here, right? We type in some vague idea, something like write something about marketing, and then we're shocked when the result is terrible. This is like the perfect example of a prompt that is absolutely guaranteed to fail because it gives the AI nothing, literally nothing to work with.
And if you're getting these kinds of generic, useless results, I totally get it. It is so frustrating. You start to think, maybe this tool isn't as powerful as everyone says. But the secret, the thing that changes everything, is realizing that the quality of the AI's output is just a direct reflection of the quality of your input. So here's the bottom line. The one thing you need to remember, the prompt makes all the difference. And by the end of this explainer, you're going to have the exact toolkit you need to write prompts that deliver professional, specific, and incredibly useful results every single time, I promise. First things first, you've got to know your tools. You wouldn't use a hammer to turn a screw, right? Well, it's the same idea here. Picking the right AI model for the job is the very first step to getting the right result. So let's take a quick look at how these OpenAI models have evolved. You have the super powerful GPT-4 that came out in March 2023. Then, in November, we got the much faster GPT-4 Turbo. And looking to the future, we're expecting specialized models like O1, which is a master of reasoning. We've placed it here in September 2024 just to show you the direction this is all heading. Okay, what's really cool is seeing how their specialties break down. Think of GPT-4 as the all-rounder. It's your go-to for creative writing or really deep analysis. Then there's GPT-4 Turbo, the speed demon. Basically the same brain, just way faster. Perfect for building apps or just speeding up your workflow. And O1, that's the reasoning master. It's purpose-built for things like math and coding because it can think through logical steps on its own. It's incredibly precise for those kinds of jobs. Okay, now that we know our models, let's get to the fun part, the core toolkit. These three techniques are your foundation. Get these right, and you will immediately see a huge jump in the quality of your results. First up is role assignment. And honestly, this might be the single most powerful, high-impact technique there is. Instead of just asking a question, you start by telling the AI who it should be. You are an expert marketer. You are a world-class chef. You are a senior software engineer. This one simple command primes the AI, activating all the specific knowledge and language patterns for that role. And boom, here's the proof. Tell me about email marketing gets you a dry textbook definition. But assigning the role of an expert strategist with 10 years of experience, now you're getting actionable advice, trade secrets, and nuance. It's literally the difference between getting a cheap pamphlet and attending a masterclass. Technique number 2, structured output. I want you to make a promise to yourself. Never again will you accept a giant, intimidating wall of text from an AI. You're in charge. You can explicitly tell it how you want the information presented. Ask for bullet points, a table, numbered lists, or even specific sections with bold headings. It makes the output so much more usable. I mean, just look at this transformation. Give me a business plan is a wish, it's a hope. The second prompt is an order. By defining the exact structure, you turn a vague idea into a professional, organized document that's actually ready to be used. It's a game changer. And finally, the third pillar of our core toolkit is providing context. The AI has no idea about your goals, your target audience, or any constraints you're working with unless you spell it out. The more relevant background you give it, the more tailored and useful the response will be. The best way to think about it is like you're briefing a brand new team member on a project. This example shows the power of context perfectly. Write a marketing email will get you a generic template that's probably going straight to the trash folder. But when you provide the context, who you are, what you sell, who you're talking to, suddenly you get a targeted, effective message that's actually going to work. All right, you've mastered the core techniques. Now, let's level up. We're getting into the advanced stuff, tailoring your prompts for specific models, especially the difference between a generalist like GPT-4 and a specialist like O1.
Now, this is really important because the strategy is completely different. With GPT-4, you want to use something called chain of thought. You actually ask it to think step by step. This forces it to slow down and be more logical, which really improves accuracy. But with a model like o1, you do the exact opposite. It's already built to reason internally, so just give it a clear, direct problem. So remember, tell GPT-4 how to think, but just tell o1 what to solve. So just to sum that up, GPT-4 and its speedy cousin Turbo, they love detail. They want examples, they want roles, they want step-by-step instructions. O1, on the other hand, just wants you to get straight to the point. It was built for autonomous thinking, so you give it a clear problem and just get out of its way. All right, we're in the home stretch. Let's wrap this up by talking about the common mistakes that people make, and then I'll share the final technique that really ties everything together on your path to prompt mastery. Think of these as the 3 horsemen of bad prompts. First, vagueness, which we solve with context and roles. Second, using the wrong tool for the job, like asking the logic-brained O1 to write a heartfelt poem. And third, not specifying a format, which we now solve with structured output. If you can just avoid these 3 things, you are already way ahead of 90% of users out there. And here it is, the final piece of the puzzle: iterative refinement. You know, professionals don't try to write one single perfect prompt. That's not how it works. They treat it like a conversation. They start with a simple request, see what they get back, and then they refine and guide the AI in the next prompt. It's a dialogue. And the workflow is super simple. You start broad, you look at what it gives you, then you refine it. You might say, okay, that's good, but now make the tone more professional. Or, great, now put all of that into a table. You just keep guiding the AI step by step until you have the perfect output. So let's do a quick recap of the essentials. 1. Match the model to the task. 2. Always use roles, structure, and context. 3. Prompt GPT-4 with lots of detail, but prompt o1 with directness. And most important of all, treat it like a conversation. Refine as you go. This right here is your checklist for mastery. You know, in the end, an AI is just a mirror. It can only reflect the clarity, the detail, and the intention that you put into it. A vague prompt will always reflect vague thinking, but a clear, structured, and strategic prompt, that reflects a clear and strategic mind. You have the tools now, so the only question left is, what will your prompts reflect?